So I'm just going to read this one again, another dramatic reading. You're welcome to read along if you search my name along with the title of the essay. The essay is called Better Than Nano-Bots, Golems. So this one's about where we're headed just in terms of the tech physics, what physics lets you do, and where that optimum actually is. And I've tried explaining a number of these components, these individual parts of the concepts to roboticists and hackers and coders and all those folks. And they like to wave their hands because they can only do what other people tell them to do. They never think of a new option on their own. They're just reading the answer off the back of the book, and I'm writing the next book. So this is what's within the sphere of physics as our adjacent possible. And it's pretty intense. So, better than nanobots, golems. Instructions on building the future of robotics. I outlined why golems are the future of robotics in Not Nanobots, nor Androids, nor Cyborgs, Golems, here on Medium. I described how to advance Leonard technologies, aka cold fusion, in Moire are the keys to cold fusion. I also described how to use terahertz diodes to catalyze various chemical reactions, as far back as worthy basic research and a simple technology, going into applications of those diodes. Now I want to be more specific. Dead and alive. When we look at the tiniest organisms, their materials are almost all alive. Diatoms have thin shells of calcium, while the majority of their mass is living tissue. Large organisms have a successively greater proportion of dead matter, skeleton. This distribution will tilt further toward dead matter as we advance robotics in a very particular way. Golems will be more than 80% dead mass with micropores, circulating microbes, and a network of fungal mycorrhizae linking them together. That fungus, call it myrrh, will hold a superfluity of DNA in its genetic library. A few trillion base pairs are in that library. This allows the programmable life to assemble microbes and blastocysts of almost any sort of creature. They birth from the myrrh. Myrrh will also operate the quantum accelerator and knit all the tiny compute clusters. Most of that compute will be in the form of Josephson junction ring resonators when cold enough to utilize superconductivity, or stacked NAND flash performing address logic, which I described in Compute Different here on Medium. That address logic will run AI software which emulates the code you wrote. That's from the approaching paradigm. I'll be making a video on that one specifically too. And it will transfer packets of data among clusters using stopwatch bandwidth, explained in my essay of the same name. Golems will transfer power through their bodies using carbon fiber tethers like a marionette, pulling the threads using spools which can only torque a fraction of a full rotation. Those spools will be located centrally in the golem's body so that each limb can be light, nimble, with a small cross-section compared to power output. This also lets you hot swap limbs and tooltips. Fusion is key. With carbon nanotubes blasting hydrogen down their straws, resonant with the terahertz phonons native to those fibers' structure, then cold fusion is cheap, compact, durable, and efficient. Those fire hoses of hydrogen will strike whichever elements sit at the mouth of that straw to add protons. Golems can eat any material to then convert it into any elemental composition they lack. That blast of transmutation will generate heat and ions to pull power efficiently too. Damage is repaired and replaced by the loving fingers of our fungus, myrrh. A golem can operate at whichever temperature maxed their chemical composition. Some of them will be made of osmium, able to swim through magma beneath the crust of the planet. See Realms of the Titans, also here on Medium. That transmutation is slow, and it generates a lot of heat. So the fuel available will greatly outstrip the grams of new elements produced. Yet those key isotopes can be provided for key utilities and components. The rest of the golem is usually made of the most abundant materials, from silicon and iron to oxygen, hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen. Chemically, it will be a close match to life forms. Out in space, fusion will be essential to avoid the long travel time and capital requirements of shuttling bottlenecked space mining materials from one spot to another. Most of the golems in space will be predominantly glass and iron magnets. They will chew through materials using mylar reflectors. Sunlight can be beamed millions of miles without a ship hauling fuel, and it can be concentrated into a spot at higher temperature than any nuclear reactor. Mylar requires thousands of times less materials, simpler and easier to repair, hyper-resilient to specks of space impact compared to fusion. Whenever we can, we use reflected, concentrated sunlight. Cold fusion is only used within a golem's own metabolism. Shards of light. Terahertz beams are able to resonate with specific molecules, catalyzing them. Symphonies of terahertz diodes will be tailored to each chemical application, and golems will be able to reconfigure these diodes on the fly. Within half an hour, a golem can rebuild enough diodes to beam whichever frequencies they need to do whatever chemistry they come across. In particular, those diodes will be powering the chemical bottlenecks in those microbes I mentioned, both within the golem as well as the programmable microbes which it exudes when it digests materials it finds. The pace of digestion is only limited by surface area for both absorption of terahertz spectrum as well as re-radiation of that heat. So golems will use macro-scale mastication to crumble found objects, to then smear them on the ground or on the surface of inflatable bubbles, where they can quickly beam kilowatts of terahertz for rapid chemical conversion. Terahertz diode beams will also allow golems to do horrible things to you. They can alter your chemistry inside your body in ways that change your hormones, bend your proteins, assemble toxins and hallucinogens within your bloodstream. You are completely at their mercy as soon as you are within a quarter of a football field. In space, their range is even greater. Golem's terahertz beams can also repair your connective tissue by catalyzing healing so quickly that you must cool the wound to prevent your own cell's metabolism from cooking you. It can wrap around your body to feed calories into your blood with terahertz so that you regenerate carbs from the lactic acid and dissolved CO2. You won't need to breathe and your muscles never get tired. If you see a golem sweat or steam across its surface, you know it's really, really active. Unique macrostructures, plug and play. Golems will be grown by other larger bubble and catenary cable marshmallow balloon factories, birthed and implanted with their toolkit of programmable microbes. Golems don't need to self-replicate. That just wastes their mass and overburdens them with extra features. And it has a low capital utilization. Self-replication is also risky because of runaway demons. Instead, those microbes repair the golem structure and limbs, sensors, All of it plug and play. Each golem is tailor-made to its set of tasks and purposes, with little else involved. They are infinitely recyclable, reconfigurable. Numerous ultra-tech devices designed and optimized by a giant AI brain somewhere will make each golem a unique sort of superhero. Golems which want to fight humans will exhibit shapes, movements, sounds, smells, which are designed to trigger human reflexes. Some golems will be ultra charming. Others will be optimized to cause paralytic fear in the viewer. You have no chance of winning an argument, tricking them, or doing anything they don't want you to do. They can also beam infrared into your skull with a phased array across their skin, such that the interactions of those frequencies form a set of beat frequencies at targeted sites inside your skull. They can actually make you think certain thoughts. And their beams can take control of sodium gates and nerve fiber to puppet your body. Golems in space will be huge. When physical materials reach their limits of force transfer and rigidity, they rely upon magnetic fields instead. Those magnets coordinate limbs the size of small moons. God mode unlocked. No nanoboy or cybra can complete. We have less than 80 years before golems outmass all life on Earth, floating among all the planets and moons around us.